This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Parker, Colorado. I'm here at Apple Remodeling. Since 1983, this local design-build contractor has been helping you love where you live. I'm here with Ted, who is the owner, founder. Thanks so much for joining us here, Ted. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, you began 1983, opening the doors, serving the public, but yet many years before that, you're a third-generation builder. It's probably safe to say that building runs in your blood. Share with me how your family got involved and how you got started in this industry.
My father came back from the service, and he joined my grandfather in a construction company, and eventually my father built it up to the point where he was doing big commercial projects and sometimes government projects. He built an entire Army base once. So he's retired now, but he did big stuff. I'm relatively small stuff compared to what he did, but that's the nature of commercial. And I've got 4 other brothers, and 3 of them are still in the construction industry as well.
So it was really a natural fit for you to continue on when it comes to building. I mean, I look around today, I see contractors out there across the city. A lot of general contractors. Everybody's saying they're the best. Some of them dabble in remodeling. Some of them are basically doing that on the side, maybe on the weekends or even during the summer. This is something that you have mastered, the remodeling. This is something you do 24/7, day in, day out, all year long. Is that something you pride yourself on, the fact that this is where your focus is?
Absolutely. And, we've done about 1,200 projects now. And a great variety of projects. Each project is individual. Each project and each client is unique. So there's a lot more variety than people might think. But it is interesting, and it's exciting to be a part of someone's remodel, because for a lot of my clients, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing if it's a big enough remodel. And, I find it extremely rewarding.
That is great. I mean, hundreds of projects out there, but like you said, you broke the 1,000 mark easily. 37 years you've been serving the public. Let me ask you this. You work with a professional team, a network of professionals that you oversee every single day, yet you personally feel it's important that you're the one that places that estimate down in front of the client and ensures that it's going to be delivered. Is that important for you?
It is, because as I learned after maybe the first 300 or 400 projects, this is not a sticks and bricks business. This is a relationship business. And, Walt Disney had some famous quote that, you can build the greatest thing in the world, but it's about the people, not the place. And so I learned a while back now that my clients, they want me to be involved. They want to talk to the owner directly. They want me to, I do the estimate, I do the designing, and then I am the overall project supervisor. And so it's important to me to be face-to-face with my client throughout the project and after the project.
You're a design, build, general contractor. Tell me a little bit, what happens initially, that first consultation with the client? What happens before you even start the design process? I imagine a lot of listening.
Absolutely. When people call us up and they say, we want to do a project, we talk to them over the phone. We will look up their house. We will listen to what they're talking about doing. We will try to get a feel for if we're a good fit or not, first of all. And once we establish that, there's a good chance that we are a good fit and we can serve them better than anybody else can, we'll make the appointment. We'll send them an email with information and ask them to go to our website and watch some videos so that they can kind of get up to speed on who we are if we haven't done work with them before. And that's all before we ever show up. I personally go out and I do the estimate, and it's a 1 to 2 hour visit the first time. Wow. And I want them to watch the video on my website before I ever get there, because at that point, I'm not explaining who Apple is. And I can then listen to them. I want them to walk me through their house, show me what they want done. And it's all about them. It's all about their project. And at that point, I'm trying to give them good information too. If I'm able to give them a ballpark idea, a relatively accurate one, because people are seeking information. When they call me, there's not good information on the internet. They want to know about what does it cost, and I'll be honest with them. If I can tell them, I will, and if I can't, if it's too if it's too spread out, I'll just be honest and say I can't do that. Sometimes I can get back to my office and do it, but once I get to their house, it's all about them, and it's I certainly want to know how are you going to use the space that we're going to remodel. What are your priorities? And talk to me about all of the things on your wish list, but tell me which ones are most important. And I have to get a feel for who they are and what they want, and the scope of what we're probably going to do.
Yeah, that was a real big deal for us. When Ted came and sat down with us at our table and we kind of went over what the project was, he asked all the right questions. We obviously had some changes along the way, but that was all part of communication. And that was, we really wanted to make sure we could communicate with whoever our contractor was before we chose the person. And so, because you really are dealing with people. I mean, it's companies and all that, but it's just people. And we really enjoyed, just meeting Ted. And again, he just kind of clicked with us, and we just, and it was clear that he understood what we were looking for. So.
This design is the result of initially a couple hours, but really many, many hours over the entire project. Weeks, sometimes months if the client is out of state or whatnot. When you sit here and you're putting the design together, there's quite a few details that you're dealing with. For the homeowner, that can be kind of overwhelming. For you, do you like putting their mind at ease, letting them know that it seems like a lot going on, but you've been there, done that, this is what you do?
Absolutely. My clients aren't contractors, and so I have, I've worked with clients so long that I know what they, I don't want to give them an information dump. So it's very natural for me anymore. Whenever they call me up and we go into a design, I don't give them a design that is construction documents that I'm giving to the building department. Okay. I give them what my lead carpenters call pretty pictures. And hey, here is a complete design, but at this point we're looking at the scope of the project, we're looking at the layout of the rooms, and we can make good decisions based on that. And then remodeling can be complex, so I try not to put too much at the feet of my clients. If I can, I'll say, whenever they need to go shopping for allowance items, I will create the shopping list for them. And I'll give them a list of wholesalers to go to that we have accounts at, and they can keep the discounts. And I'll try to organize it as much as possible for them, because I'm the one that's supposed to build it. So, my client's responsibility should be make decisions and write checks. And that's all they really have to do.
Well, about remodeling, it's probably going to be more complicated than you think. The Property Brothers make it look easy. It's not what you think when you start. We built a home before, but we'd never remodeled before. So this was an entirely different project. And picking out things, the way we work with Ted is that he did the construction work and he was there to guide us, but we had to pick out everything and buy everything and bring it together. And that was a bit of a challenge for us, and not being familiar with the Denver area, it was good that Ted was able to recommend places to go with.
Like you said, it's that relationship on the front end. They feel at ease with you. They trust you. I mean, you've been the go-to remodeler for many of these homeowners here. Some of them have come back multiple times. Is that a relationship that you value, that they actually have trusted you with yet another project? Absolutely.
It means a lot to me. We're actually working for a client right now who we first worked for him in 1997. We came back 5 years later, and I'll never forget, he wanted me to do about $150,000 remodel. And we had about a 2-hour meeting. And what I recall about it was we were walking out to my truck, and he said, "Ted, you're my guy." He didn't even have a price from me yet. That amount of trust is huge for me. And that's the kind of relationship I want with every client. I don't ever want a client to feel like they can't ask me a question, or that they wouldn't hire me again, God forbid. So I do get to know the family. Whenever I do the estimate, I write down the name of the kids and the pets. If a neighbor stops by, I write down their name. Because it is a relationship business. So these people rely on me to take care of them. It's a busy life for everybody. And so, we do end up creating relationships, and that is probably the best part.
These wooden windows were put in originally when the house was built in 1978. They were aluminum, and they were on the north side, and they were very cold. And putting in windows with the windows up above is a very specialized work. So however I came in contact with him, it was because he had a reputation for dealing with difficult, complex windows. So that he put that in 1997. And this project, which was a total rehab of the living room, the dining room, the kitchen, the family room, was done in 2004.
That is excellent. I mean, not only do the clients recommend you, but you've been recommended throughout the years by many associations, part of the Dave Logan team, Angie's List, House, Home Advisors. You've been on the Best of Consumer News Television with us since 2016. Is this a reputation that you definitely strive to protect through each project?
Absolutely. And, it used to be maybe some of those contractors that weren't so good could fly under the radar, but there's a beautiful thing called the internet now. And all of the reviews that are placed on the internet, it makes it great for the good contractors, so that people can actually find us, they can know what we're like, and they can remodel with peace of mind. But I started out swinging a hammer, and I started out being taught by my father and grandfather how things are done. And, they instilled that pride of workmanship in me. So everything kind of flows from that. And, if someone didn't think my work was great, I would be embarrassed about it. So it's not just about reputation. It's the pride that I have.
Someone who is proud of their work and also willing to back it up. Come back and check it out maybe a year later and back it up with a 3-time warranty that, most companies don't do that.
When you choose a contractor, and people who have done a lot of remodeling in the past and hired contractors, they will tell me this. They learned it the hard way sometimes. Who you choose as a general contractor is job one. That drives the bus. Everything will flow from there. And so it's key that you choose a good contractor. Obviously not all contractors are in business, running a legitimate business. They jump in and out depending on the economy, or they just decided to hang a shingle because they got tired of working for somebody else. But they miss the important part of being a contractor, which is you're running a business, and your clients are depending on you being able to run a business, not just being able to swing a hammer. So that's a key part of doing any renovation. If you're going to hire it out, is choosing the right contractor. As far as backing up your work, if you do really high quality work, it really doesn't matter what your warranty is, because if you take that level of pride, and we do, if someone calls, and I had someone call me not long ago, and they said it looked like there was a small gap between their crown molding in their kitchen and the ceiling, and he wasn't too worried about it. So about an hour later, I was at his house, and because I'm worried about it.
Right.
And so I don't know if it was a little bit of his house settling or what, but I said, I'll get somebody right over here, and he said, well, I'm leaving town. Can you do it next week? And we did. But that kind of pride, kind of reputation, and really appreciation for your clients, because they're spending their hard-earned money on us. I think if you get the right company, you'll be in good shape. And if you don't get the right company, there's a lot of fly-by-nights out there, like any industry probably.
You've been trusted with projects from $30,000 up to really 10 times that amount. Your clients trust you. You basically have family here. You're serving the community. Does this continue to be rewarding for you as you go into the future and basically third generation builder?
Yeah, I'll be doing this for a while, probably, for as long as I can. And we've already done 1,200 projects, but it doesn't feel like it. It really doesn't. I don't know how many I've got in me still, but probably another 1,200. It's funny because I'm starting I have already worked for the children on a couple of projects I worked for their parents long ago. So it's kind of cool whenever we get called and if we've already worked for someone or their friends or relatives, it's like old home week when I show up because there's nobody, they're not calling anybody else. And, it's that trust factor again. And it's just, it's really nice, to be in that situation. And I know every time we have a new client call and I go visit them, I kind of assume we're doing work for them for the next 20 years. And, that's the way I approach it. And that way people really appreciate whenever I do an estimate and they haven't met me before. I'll just sit down and, I'll tell them anything they want to know exactly like it is and give them real timely information so that they're not wasting their time. It works out quite well.
Basically, his character. He likes people. He has high standards for himself, and he aims to please. And he's consistent. But he likes people. And he's been in the business so long, he's built up so many relationships. He's got great carpenters. I was introduced to the tile people yesterday, and they're very good. They're very good.
That is excellent. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. On the website, you can take a look at the different services they provide right there for you. We touched on kitchens, bathrooms, master bathrooms, as well as basements. They can do additions for you, pop-ups, you name it. This is an organization that began back in 1983, but basically the founder and owner was raised in the building business. He himself has swung a hammer before, but now is basically learned the business side of it and comes to the conclusion that it's about relationships. He's built relationships across the board with homeowners across Denver as well as Colorado. This is Apple Remodeling since 1983, helping you love where you live. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.